think I'm going to go with the fact that lately I've been feeling this belief of, like, for instance, I'm a mother.
Okay.
And there has been a lot of talk about taking female and male off birth certificates. And
It's the first time I'm hearing of that. Okay.
yeah. So I think that's a critical thing because of the fact that you have a birth certificate and you have a human that's being brought into this world, either male or female. And taking that off, I understand why now, the differences, because I had to examine when people do decide that if they're born a woman or a man, and then they decide that they feel that they might be, for instance, I'm a woman, but maybe I decide I want to be a man. And I've always felt that in my entire being.
Right.
But it makes it very difficult for paperwork to change. But I still believe that we should be able to identify as male and female in the beginning of birth.
In the beginning. Okay. That's interesting. I haven't heard of this before. So, like, don't let me put words in your mouth, but what you're saying is that you understand people who are born into one gender or sex. I'm not really too clear on the difference entirely, but people are born into one, and you understand when they feel like they want to change to become the other. But you think that you think that we should still be able to assign a sex, namely
Absolutely.
male or female, when a child is born.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
What I see now is that there is a lot of confusion with children.
Okay.
I have children myself, and I tell them, be comfortable in your own skin. And now, since it's like, I'm completely open with people deciding to be, male or female, and if they want to be transgendered. But I think there's a time for the mind to completely develop when a child at 9 years old shouldn't have, I think, as a mother, shouldn't have the choice to say, I think I could take hormones now because I feel that I should be a man.
Okay.
That as parents, we still need to be able to guide them, but it's just so, what's the right word? It's just out there now that I feel that children are getting really confused, and now they're starting to look at it as a trend, and if they're not bisexual or like the other sex, that it's a popularity thing.
You think the thought is that, like, being bisexual or even not cis, like being trans, is like trendy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it is.
Have you noticed that with your own kids?
I haven't as of yet. I have discussions with my middle child. My older one is 21. My middle child, Sophia, is almost 12. And I asked her, I'm open with her. I said, do you like boys or girls? And she's like, I don't know yet. So, having those open discussions with her, and I come always with an open heart. I don't like to judge. I love everyone. I always tell my children, we love people no matter who they are, what they are. We all should love each other. I think there's so much hate in this world that in my household, that's how I like to raise my kids. Love God, love people, love the earth, treat the earth well. Yeah. But I still think that there is a lot of confusion for some just young seeds, young souls out there.
Definitely, yeah. No, that's really cool. Like, I think when I was 12, for example, even though I just so happened to be straight, I don't think I would have had the courage to tell my parents, even I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, there was so much pressure to have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, you don't think that at age 9 someone should be able to start taking hormones or undergo some sort of sex reassignment surgery or anything like that? what happens if they tell you, I don't like this body that I'm in?
That I'm in?
Yeah.
I think we'll work on it. We'll really figure out why they feel that way. Because in your mind, why do you feel that you are not, that the skin that you're in doesn't feel good to you? There has to be more to it, something very deep rooted, because it's, for instance, myself, there's been trauma in my life, and there was a time where I thought I was gay, and I loved being with women. I think the body of a woman is amazing, but I love men, and my relationships have always been with men. But the trauma that I went through, I think, put me in a place where I was lost, I was confused. And again, that's why I believe that children shouldn't have that choice. I think that we still have to be able to develop our mind and be mature and really understand what we're going through.
Okay, wow. So
that's why I say it's so deep rooted.
Yeah. I mean, you said you went through a phase where, would you say you were in a phase where you were attracted to women?
Yes.
Okay.
Most definitely. And I think they're still attractive. I think women are still beautiful. And I don't think it's wrong if I have that feeling where if I want to have a woman in my life and have pleasure, I, again, don't think it's incorrect.
It's not like immoral.
It's not, I don't think so. You know, I come from a religious background. I believe in God. I believe in these trees are alive. But if I feel that I am attracted to something, I feel good in that. Okay.
And we'll just be clear, like, so me, so it's a hard, I don't have many of these kinds of conversations. I think this is my first time having a conversation about this. But like me personally, I think that other men are beautiful, you know. I can't say that I've ever been like sexually attracted to another man. Have you been attracted in that way to another woman?
Yeah, most definitely. Absolutely. There has been strong attractions where I've had conversations with women, or I love touching their skin and feeling their skin against mine. So, you know, but that's just me. That's what I feel.
Okay. Yeah.
And, you know, just going back to what I brought up originally regarding having to identify as a male or a female. I mean, we're brought into this world in either a male or female form. And then if we decide that we want to change our gender at that time, our body modification, our organs are always going to be, I think, they haven't created anything as of yet, but, you know, we have certain organs in our body. Men don't have chromosomes and things like that. As of now, they haven't really created anything, but again, it's okay. If that person decides that they want to do that later on in life, that's fine. And then I always have a really hard time with wording now and how they want to change certain things, because I'm a postpartum doula, and I don't know if you know what that is, but it's a postpartum doula is a woman that helps heal women after they have children. So I'm a woman with breast, and now they're wanting to change wording where we can't use these words like breastfeeding, because it doesn't represent to every other gender in this world. They want us to use something like a wording like chest feeding.
Wow, this is the first time I'm hearing that as well.
So it's just interesting how the world evolves, and I'm okay with change, but I still don't think that I should change my phrases and my wording, because I'm still a woman. I still have breast, and I can change the way that I speak to other people and respect them, you know, if they're chest feeding, or if they decide that they don't, you know, they want to use a bottle, that's fine. But I don't think I should change the way I'm identifying myself to please you.
Yeah. I want to go back to what you were saying about sort of tying back in your original claim about like, when about young people exploring not only their sexuality but like their gender expression. So, I mean, you were saying that you are attracted to other women, but I think you said that was a result of trauma.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, most definitely.
And you're taking that experience to sort of maybe inform through your own experience how you feel that, because maybe you felt like lost in that phase. You think, kids are probably going through the same thing at that time. And I guess I'm curious, like, when do you think someone should be able to make a decision about? Well, first of all, I'm so sorry. I have
you're
such
fine.
a long-winded
No
question.
worries.
Is your sexual orientation and your gender expression different in regards to when you think someone should be able to change or express that sort of thing? Like, for example, you asked your kid, do you like men or women or boys or girls? And she said, I don't know. If she said either, would you have been okay with either answer?
I mean, it's as long as she's okay with it. I'm going to accept whatever answer she would have given me. I'm going to support my child regardless.
Now, what if the question was, do you feel more like a boy or a girl? Would that be different?
I don't think it would be different. I would still support her on that choice.
Okay.
But I want her to have a very clear mind and also knowing why she's choosing that. Because is she choosing that because it's something that she sees? Is it something that she's choosing because she's hearing it? Because if it's not exposed, she would never know about it, right? It's the knowledge that we get.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm not sure if people 1,000 years ago, when trans wasn't a huge, like a
it was
very
around.
formulated
I think it
concept.
was around.
It was around.
Yeah, because if you read the
There was
stories,
definitely cross-dressing.
most definitely. I mean, just looking at Cleopatra and Caesar and how they were still, we think it's been around.
Yeah.
It's been around forever.
Right.
It just wasn't so prevalent. It wasn't so.
You think the prevalence of it now is really influencing?
Yeah. A lot more.
Okay.
A lot more.
If you could determine that, let's see, her decision to want to transition, and this is just a hypothetical kid, I'm not saying your
Yeah.
kid, but like, if you could determine that her decision in that was like of clear mind and not influenced by her peers or something, like what if it was something really deep, like her, I don't know, maybe an actual biological hormonal imbalance, or I don't know. I have never been in this position, but maybe she doesn't identify with like the different gender stereotypes of being a woman, and she'd rather, I don't know, play with action figures or video games or something. I don't know. But
And that's fine too. When they say like, oh, pink is only for girls, and it's not for boys, and boys shouldn't play with dolls because it's not okay. Like there is no. For me, it's if the little boy wants to walk around with a doll and he wants to carry a doll, that's okay. And I think I understand your question. Like if there is my child or a child, that what would be the time to actually allow them or to accept the fact that maybe they were born a little girl, and then they might feel that in their soul they feel like they should have been a little boy.
Yeah, and I guess to try to be more clear, what could your child say to you to convince you that they have a clear mind going into this decision?
I would just have to trust my child's intuition.
Okay, so are you saying you would support? Like
I would support them. If my daughter honestly came to me and said that she felt like she identified more as a boy, then we would really have to start looking into that a lot deeper and figuring out why. Because your intuition tells you a lot of different things. We just have to really tap into it. And some of us don't. We're so confused, and we walk around trying to figure out life. Like, why do I feel this way? And we don't really dig deep into why. But you know, like with my children, I'm always going to support them regardless of whatever they choose in life. I just really hope, and I'm very hopeful, that their decision in life is going to make them happy. The ultimate goal for me always is their happiness. If they're happy, that's fine.
Right.
You know, as long as they're happy and they feel fulfilled with their decisions in life.
Right.
That's really all that matters to me.
The tough part is, like, you never know.
You don't.
If the decision that they're making is going to fulfill
benefit them.
Right?
Yeah, benefit them and fulfill them and all their needs. You know, but it's just it's tough out here now. The world is changing in so many different directions. So many things are happening right now.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we have to keep on having that peace in our heart and living with happiness as much as possible. But
Rosalinda, thanks for
You're
sitting
welcome,
down. Do you
of
mind if I ask you
course.
maybe like 2 more questions?
no,
Okay.
go ahead.
I think the actual original claim was we should still assign a gender, or at least a sex,
Yes.
at birth, like based on, you know, if the baby has a penis or vagina or whatever, you know.
Most definitely.
And I'm gathering I think the reason is because you think that kids, I think it has to do with guidance, like why could you just repeat the reason for that?
I think for me, the reasoning behind it is because there is male and female. And that's how we were created. There's a male and there's a female. And how we decide later on in life how we're going to live our life, in our sexual, you know, decisions and how we want to partake our life. I think originally we're still born male or female. There's
so for you it's about like recognizing reality. Right. Okay.
Yeah. There's different races, but we only have males and females. And it's crazy because at one time I was like thinking later on as the world keeps on evolving, people later on are probably going to say that they identify as partial animal. And who knows if they create, you know, science. Exactly. Yeah. You know, they wear these little like tails on their ass. Sorry, excuse my language. And they bounce her. And that's cool. Like I have a cousin that does that and she has fun with it. Fine. But with the way that the world is evolving and all these wonderful technology that we have later on, there might be something that allows people to be
part animal.
Exactly. That's what I think eventually will happen. And mark my word if it ever does.
Last question. Is there anything that you could learn, any sort of experience you could have? First of all, how confident are you in your original claim? It's a weird sort of abstract question, but like on a scale of 0 to 100, where would you put your confidence in the claim that we should still assign a sex at birth?
So I would say you're rating it on a scale of what?
0 to 100, how confident you are.
It would be 100.
100, okay.
100.
Is there anything you could learn to roll that back? Like if you had any sort of experience or learned any sort of new fact, like, I don't know, something like the existence of intersex people, or if people were born with, I don't know, new things or anything that you could imagine that would make you less confident in your claim.
I mean, No, I would say 100% because the only other stuff that's being modified is through science. I mean, you have IVF that now, people can have babies through different ways of science.
What's that, IVF?
It's in vitro, so that you get basically your embryo is implanted in your uterus. If you can't, you can carry a child for someone. You have an embryo, you have the sperm, it can be implanted, but you go through treatments to get pregnant, or somebody else can carry your child. So,
like a surrogate mother.
yeah, surrogate mother. So, I mean, it can be possible. That's why I said science is so, it's great and all, but
So you're saying in the future it can be possible.
I believe so, yeah.
But as of now.
As of now,
Yeah.
I haven't heard of that.
Okay.
I have no knowledge behind that, but maybe there is already. I'm not aware of it. Yeah. Thank you. Nice meeting you, and thank
Yeah.
you.